Coach Jordan used to say that sometimes people who come to Auburn and adopt Auburn love Auburn and appreciate Auburn more than those of us who were brought up in the Auburn family. Jane Moore is certainly one of those. No one loves Auburn, Auburn University, the Auburn way of life, more so than Jane Moore does. No one.
Jane Moore was born in the small town of Dozier, Alabama in 1935. Her life brought her to the Plains in 1969, and her profound influence on Auburn continues today.
When I came to Auburn in 1973, women's athletics, for example, was not even part of the NCAA. It was something else. And it was fledgling, it was struggling, it wasn't much of anything. And I can go back to that time and think of Jane, along with a couple of other women's coaches who really enable women's athletics to move. And we see where it's gone, we see where we are, and what all it's done in the lives of so many Auburn students. She's championed that. And her voice was heard partly because she was outside of the athletics department, and she understood sports science, she understood human motor development. She was just really good at understanding the importance of athletics for women, or sport opportunities for women. And she was just persistent in that goal to help it move forward, and she did. And the stadium's named because of her, because of that.
No one enjoys winning more than Dr. Moore, but the holistic approach, and that's her word, the holistic approach to the student athlete is what she's always wanted for all of our students that are athletes. She wants them to not only win, but she wants them to grow physically, mentally, and spiritually each day. Because it's real easy to lose sight of just wins and losses, and to measure one's success just on wins and losses. But fortunately at Auburn, with Dr. Moore's roots and her character and integrity and her expectations, it's more than that here at Auburn being a student athlete. It's really about being the holistic person. And we need to win a few games along the way, or a few matches along the way, and we do that. But she's more concerned about the individual.
Jane she's selfless. It's kind of always about somebody else. You know, whether it's women student athletes that she's championed, or whether it's hungry people because she's worked at the food bank, or whether it's patients at the hospital because she's been a foundation board member. It's kind of always about them. And she's persistent in that pursuit. If you're in a discussion, she just kind of stays on it until those needs are addressed. And that's a special thing about her, and one thing I've always admired.
The name Cliff Hare is a very important name in Auburn athletics. He was a moral standard by which Auburn's men's athletic program was judged. I think you can easily say, and should say, that Jane Moore is a moral standard by which Auburn's women's program is judged. She held the same position that Cliff Hare did. Faculty chairman of athletics. Jane was the first woman to do it.
That decision by the president to name me in 1975 as a member of the University Athletics Committee, the first woman, that sort of thing, just put me in a position to have an opportunity to help the program all the way through. That was the defining moment of that.
In her role as faculty athletic director, she was primarily concerned about the integrity of the program and the integrity of the university. And I think you can also say the integrity of the Southeastern Conference, because she served year after year after year on the SEC Executive Committee. In my 40 years of being around intercollegiate athletics, I don't know of anyone who had more respect than Jane Moore did, who was respected more than Jane Moore was.
Jane's emergence as a leader had to have a profound effect in a very male culture. And I'm very confident that she influenced a lot of people to have the courage to stand up for what is right and what is good. And I'm very confident made a huge difference in times of turmoil and times of triumph in athletics and in academics generally.
She just knew that she had a role to do, and she wanted to do it in an exemplary way. And that's what she's always done. It's never been about, I'm the first woman, or because of this or because of that. It's all been about, what can I do to help make this student's experience here at Auburn better? And what can Auburn do to get better?
Jane, of course, has done a lot for women. She's been a champion for women's athletics, but that really is not all she's done. That's not nearly all she's done. She's been a champion for all students. I recall a time when she had a near miss with a bicyclist, a young man, and he fell off his bike, and she practically raised him for the rest of his time at Auburn. I mean, if anybody was needy, man or woman, it didn't matter. She was there to help them.
If you're not a friend of Jane Moore's, it's only because she hadn't met you yet. That's the only reason. She loves people, and it's just in her heart. It's just in her makeup. It is just what her grandmother and grandfather, and her mother and daddy, and her family have instilled in her. It's a natural thing for her to be her. It's a natural thing for her to care so much about people.
When I've been asked about the Lifetime Achievement Award, or maybe even congratulated about the award, it's been hard to know why I got the award because I don't think about things like that. I don't think about awards, but I think about doing the best I can in whatever role and responsibility that I have. And at my life now, looking back, I look back at the accomplishments not related to what I might have given to the program, but just look back and with pride about where we are and the giant steps that have been made through the years.
Jane's involvement in athletics has had a large impact on so many students' lives here at Auburn University.
She paved the way for a lot of females that have fallen behind her, but she never looked at it that way. She looked at it as that was her role, she embraced it, and she moved forward. But we all stood back in awe and watched as she was the first woman to do a lot of different things. But it didn't matter to her. She just wanted to be great, wanted Auburn to be great at everything that we did.